This week's lineup was absolutely insane, so stay tuned. What's up guys, Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Hope you're all doing good and also had a good week. I definitely did. And the lineup this week, guys, has so many bangers, some new stuff, some hype stuff, some stuff I've been wanting in my collection for such a long time, and we got some goodies this week, guys. And if you aren't familiar with this series that I do on a weekly basis, we basically just run down what fragrance I'm wearing each day, how many sprays I did to kind of weather outside, and of course, if that fragrance get any attention or not. And before we get into my list and get into Monday, drop your rotation down below and let's not waste any more time. Monday was in the high 50s and sunny outside, and I pulled out the brand new zaharoff Divine, guys. So we all know about zaharoff blend, which was inspired by the OG Angel Share. However, though, this is going to be mostly inspired by Angel Share Paradise, which is one of the newest flankers from Angel Share, and in my opinion, by far the sexiest flanker as well. Over on the rocks, over the OG, of course. And you would think this would be on the rocks inspired by because of the frosted glass bottle, but it isn't. Because you get that fruity raspberry cinnamon opening, guys, a little bit of this fruity apple and caramel, so it's almost like this kind of caramel apple in the mid. That, of course, is going to dry down to that boozy smooth cognac, resinous warm amber, and spicy vanilla. And it makes for one a heck of a DNA, guys. If I had to choose between zaharoff blend or Divine, absolutely go ahead and get Divine, guys. This one knocks it out of the park. And this one's so brand new, guys. It's only available on the Zamaya website. You can actually use code HUNTER15 to save 15% off as well if you want to get in your hands ASAP, because you probably will since we're in the cold weather right now and this one shines in it. On that day, I did do 10 sprays of a Divine. I did get a comment from my girl. She said I smelled really good and then asked me if I was wearing Angel Share since she loves that fragrance, guys. She wears it herself. So, of course, we'll remind you of Angel Share, just done much sexier in the realm of paradise. So that's what I wore for Monday. Tuesday was in the low 60s and sunny outside, and I pulled out Rue Broca's Hooked Intensely. Now, Rue Broca's actually sister companies to both Afnan and Zamaya. This brand kind of goes a little bit more under the radar compared to their older brothers. However, though, this one right here is going to be inspired by Stronger With You Intensely, which is getting so much hype. Probably the most popular Stronger With You, guys, and to be honest with you right now, I've never smelled Intensely. I know, crazy to admit that, guys. The only one I actually own is the Parfum Stronger With You. But geez, is this a absolute stunning DNA, guys. Very seductive, very playful, very sexy, very ambery, very spicy, a ton of vanilla in here as well, guys. And this is perfect for like a date night scenario, and will get your date absolutely hooked on you, just like that name says. Like, whoa, this one is actually very good. Now, on Tuesday, I only did do 6 sprays of Hooked Intensely. Don't recall doing that much, but man, the performance with this one was pretty good. It is an EDP. And take a look how cool this bottle is, at that little bow tie right there. I don't know how it compares to Stronger With You Intensely. However, if you're looking for an alternative to that, you might want to check out Hooked Intensely, guys. This one is a banger and probably will be reviewing it very soon. Wednesday happened to be in the high 40s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out the brand new Orientica Desert Dust. Now, Orientica has been knocking the fragrances out of the park lately, guys. Of course, Dynasty, Nardo Oud, and they just came out with Desert Dust and I think Rose Esclate, which I do have both of them. And take a look at these beautiful kind of pastel matte bottles. I mean, come on, absolutely stunning. Now, Desert Dust is going to be this very kind of powdery floral coconut DNA, and this is beautiful, especially on a lady. My girl actually wore this one before I did during the week, and oh my gosh, while we were out shopping, she was wearing this and she was smelling up every store we went into. Heavenly, guys. This stuff pushed off her skin so good. So ladies and men, if you love those coconut, powdery, kind of floral fragrances with a little bit of the amber, you're gonna be falling in love with Desert Dust. I'm not even joking. It does lean a little bit feminine in my personal opinion, but I did rock it on Wednesday without any hesitation. Also, only did do 3 sprays on Wednesday. Didn't want to overdo it with this one, guys, because it is slightly more on the feminine side, but I did want to kind of get a good wearing of it, test it, etc., especially if I'm going to be reviewing this soon. But yeah, Orientica is a Middle Eastern house that if you haven't checked them out yet, what are you guys doing? They have absolute bangers. Thursday was in the low 50s and sunny outside, and we pulled out the brand new Zamaya Albarari Shore. Now you might know about Albarari Coral because I just recently reviewed that, and that one's an absolute hit from a Zamaya. Now Shore is going to be inspired by a Zaro Forever Wanted Elixir, which is hands down my favorite Wanted in the entire lineup, guys. I love Forever Wanted Elixir because of that fruity, juicy raspberry and rugged leather combination, which is exactly the same vibe you get in Shore, guys. So if you love that DNA, this one has to be on your radar. This one might possibly be a little bit more brighter in the opening from like mandarin orange and bergamot, but still getting the raspberry that does dry down to leather. And I believe also has this note of this kind of creamy, sweet vanilla in the base that you don't find in Forever Wanted Elixir. However though, the DNA is absolutely going to be in the same realm. Zamaya is quickly becoming one of my favorite Middle Eastern brands, hands down, guys. They keep making banger after banger. On that day though, I only did do 6 sprays of Shore. I did get a compliment from my girl later on in the evening. She says, whatever you're wearing today smells so sexy. And this has always been a sexy DNA, guys. For some reason, that fruity raspberry and rugged leather combination together makes for a magical scent profile. I'm not even joking. So yeah, that's what I rock for Thursday, is the brand new Albarari Shore. Friday was also in the low 50s and cloudy outside. However, it was a special day, guys, because I pulled out a fragrance I've wanted in my collection for so many years now, and it is, of course, Yves Saint Laurent Babycat Raw Bourbon in the new presentation from Yves Saint Laurent, guys. This is a vanilla fragrance that has been on my list to get for a long time. It used to be like an Europe exclusive, I believe, or Middle Eastern exclusive, I'm not sure. However, finally got in the collection, guys, and I gotta say I'm blown away, especially for being a vanilla lover myself. This one is so good. It opens up very, very spicy from like black pepper and pink pepper together. That starts to dry down to this leathery saffron, a ton of resins from like olibanum, etc. Like a ton of this kind of sticky resin nuances going on in the middle of this one that dries down, of course, to that spicy vanilla and this very leathery suede combination as well, guys. Easily has got to be one of my new favorite vanillas in my collection. I'm telling you, when it comes to vanilla in my collection, guys, I have so many heavy hitters, which some of them are absolutely hard to top, but this has to be in the top 3 vanillas of all time. The only other Yves Saint Laurent private blend I absolutely need in the collection is going to be Tuxedo, which is, of course, is their take on patchouli. And always love Tuxedo, guys. I've tried so many decants of it. Huge fan of the scent profile and gonna need a bottle of it ASAP. On Friday, I did rock 6 sprays of Babycat. My girl said that I smelled like a dessert, guys. She loved this fragrance on me. But wow, this might literally be a masterpiece from a Yves Saint Laurent, guys. Let me know down below if you guys tried Babycat, what are your thoughts on it, etc. because I'm a huge fan of it. Saturday was in the mid 50s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out the brand new Bon Parfumier 502 Iris Cartagena EDP, guys. Bon Parfumier finally made a flanker of one of their best extraits, Iris Cartagena, and made it a little bit fresher, more versatile, and just brighter. And Iris Cartagena was always this kind of chocolatey, powdery iris, boozy DNA, which I absolutely love. Go check the review out of the extrait because that's an absolute hit. Now, they made it the EDP, guys. Like I said, it still has the DNA of the original. Just in this one, it adds this kind of fruity, juicy mandarin orange right away in the top. Has a much fresher nuance through and through from the top, mid, and base as well. But you're still getting chocolatey cacao, boozy rum, a little bit of this kind of vanilla, and of course, that very powdery, exquisite iris in here as well, guys. Now, if you always thought the extrait might have been a little bit too expensive because they are pretty pricey, they finally came out with the EDP, guys, and this I believe goes for around $140. It might also be like a limited time release, so if you want to get it, now is the time. And of course, I've been talking about Bon Parfumier for so many years now. I always said they're one of the best entry-level niche brands to finally get into. Not entry-level as far as quality, but entry level as far as the price tag goes. Yeah, just excellent. This one might not last as long as the extrait. However, though, it does project just as much or even better. On that day, I did do 6 sprays of Iris Cartagena EDP. My girl said I smelled so good and said she could smell me from all the way across the room. And that was even hours after applying it, guys. And trust me, she gave me multiple comments throughout the night. For my boozy Iris lovers out there, this has to be on your list to check out, especially the EDP for the price. Right what we got for on Sunday was in the mid 50s and sunny outside, and I pulled out House of Puente Lilith, which is a brand new fragrance from the House of Puente. Now, this is my first time ever experiencing this house, guys, and I gotta say I am so impressed with the quality behind a Lilith, even though it really isn't the scent profile I gravitate towards for the most part. It's still absolutely top tier when it comes to quality. Because in this one, it's going to open up very floral. This is a heavy floral fragrance that does have some dark nuances to it, believe me, but it opens up with this ylang ylang ginger, like a zesty, fresh ginger with a ton of this spicy cumin. And if you know me, I've never really been the biggest fan of cumin because sometimes you come across smell like BO if it's overdone. In here though, it does have slight nuances from that. However, I think the ginger and the florals do take the center stage in front of the cumin. The cumin's kind of in the background, but it's absolutely going to be there right away. That does start to dry down to this very powdery floral rose. You have a ton of this spicy cinnamon with a base that actually turns animalic because you have a huge dose of castoreum in the base of Lilith, which I love. The dry down is by far my favorite part about this fragrance, hands down, guys. I love a good kind of animalic, dirty fragrance, and this is that. Ambergris castoreum with a little bit of this vanilla. Now this does remind me of some other fragrances slightly. It's kind of in the same realm as something like Guerlain Shalimar, which is an iconic classic fragrance that's been around for like 100 years. Also kind of reminds me a little bit of Frederic Mall's Musk Ravageur, which I love that fragrance. But whoa, if you love those spicy, animalic, floral fragrances, you absolutely have to check out Lilith from Puente. On the day though, I did do 6 sprays of this one as well, guys. This is an extremely heavy, strong, potent fragrance, guys. It lasts so long. Projected heavy as well. So be careful because this isn't really gonna please the masses, if you know what I mean. But I do love artistic niche fragrances like this, and after trying the brand new Lilith, I'm gonna have to check out some more from the house. So that's gonna do it for the weekly rotation. As always, if you haven't already, drop your rotations down below because I know you guys pull out bangers as well every single week. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? I got you guys with daily fragrance content, and of course, I'll catch all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.